So welcome to Campaign Asia's Creation Stories, another episode in the video series. And today we are going to Thailand, which is a fantastic opportunity for us, and to the very interesting category of car batteries, which is possibly not something that we think about very often. But I guess in that category, it's very, very important for brands to stand out. And today we are going to be talking about a campaign by the brand Boliden, which is known as the Zombies campaign. We'll play the work in a second. But firstly, I'd like to ask the client and the agency team to introduce themselves. So firstly, Kundus from Siampan Boliden.
Hi, my name is Dusadee Rotrakarn. So I am the director of Siampan Group, public company that manufactures and markets the battery brand Boliden.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kundus. Thank you for that. And then to the agency in Bangkok, CJ Worx, and to Kunchai and to Kunbol, I'd ask you to introduce yourselves as well, please.
Hi, my name is Saharath, and I come with my creative director, Kunbol. Right? Hi. Yes, and we are at CJ Worx. We are an independent agency in Bangkok. We are one of the largest independent agency, in Thailand.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys, and thank you for joining us. So we'll start this session by just having a quick look at the work, and to do that, I'll share my screen at this end.
เมื่อมีปัญหาเรื่องแบตเมื่อมีปัญหาเรื่องแบต
มาผิดเรื่องเปล่านี่มันหนังซอมบี้นะ
ในฐานะที่ผมคุกคีกับวงการไฟฟ้ามานาน
เมื่อมีปัญหาเรื่องแบต
ขอแนะนำโบลิเดน
สวัสดีโบลิเดนบายดีเปล่า
แบตเตอรี่ไม่ใช่คนไม่ต้องถามว่าสบายดีแค่ถามว่าดียังไงเรื่องนี้ต้องให้นักวิจัยอธิบายนี่คือนักวิจัยจากโบลิเดนคนนี้เขาจะมาอธิบายว่าโบลิเดนดีกว่าแบตอื่นยังไง
ดีข้อหนึ่ง
สงสัยผมคงต้องอธิบายเองต่อไปนี้ผมจะสาธิตให้ดูถึงสิ่งที่โบลิเดนดีกว่าแบตอื่นดีข้อหนึ่งมีแผ่นธาตุที่หนากว่า
โหหนาจริง
ๆดีข้อ2ดูแลง่ายไม่ต้องเติมน้ำกลั่น
ข้อ3อะไรอ่ะ
ชาร์จไฟเร็วจ่ายไฟแรง
นี่ยังไม่ต่อขั้วเลยช็อตแล้วเหรอเวอร์
เจ็บหนุ่ม
ดีข้อ4ได้รางวัลแบตยอดเยี่ยมจากฟินแลนด์มุกแบดมินตันมาอีกแล้วรางวัลจริงอยู่ไหนเนี่ย
รางวัลใหญ่นะเนี่ย
จากข้อดีทั้งหมดเมื่อมีปัญหาเรื่องแบตเซิร์ชโบลิเดน
Okay. That is the most fantastic piece of work. So yeah, just to guess introduce us into the discussion. The whole purpose behind Creation Stories, this video series, is to talk to client marketers and their agency partners, I guess, about the stories behind some of the great work that they're producing together. And when we saw this campaign, we immediately thought, that's such an amazing piece of work. We'd love to know a little bit of the story behind the campaign. So maybe if I start by maybe asking Kun Chai and Kun Bol, what's the background to you working with Kun Dus and the team at Boliden?
Okay. So we start in last year. This campaign started from last year. We got a brief during February or March, in very early last year. The brief actually come from Boliden, but before that, we got recommendation from the Google. Google asked Boliden to contact us to start with the campaign like this. But Boliden is very famous brand, actually very famous brand in Thailand. There are several brands that exist in Thailand, but Boliden is one of the best in the industry.
I understand. So I guess if it's a recommendation, that's fantastic. What was it like, Kun Dus, if I can ask, for you getting a recommendation of an agency to work with? Was that a good thing for you?
Yes, I think so. I think it just narrowed down the number of people that we talked to, and we got to talk to CJ Worx, and we immediately, liked them. We liked their creative team, and I think they've got enough knowledge about our products to understand our problem.
Understand. So that's very good. Then Kun Dus, because if I can ask you to keep going on that. What was actually the business or the marketing problem at the time? Why did you need to run the campaign?
So over 50 years of legacy in marketing premium quality batteries. In 1920, we decided to improve our Boliden batteries features and benefits with the intention of being the best car batteries for everyday use and for all vehicles, Japanese and European alike. Because it used to be in the old days that people just use it for European cars. So
right.
not just be European cars. And with the marketplace in Thailand changing, we feel that our uniqueness as a brand for maintenance-free and seal maintenance-free batteries are not strong enough. And we felt that Boliden was in need of a rebranding to communicate and differentiate our brand benefits better.
I understand.
So in doing so, we feel that we need viral assets to create a buzz in the market, so to speak. And given that our battery also is a low involvement product, so the problem is, or the problem to creative team is to how to come up with a campaign that can be top of the mind in the battery segment. So with this goal in mind, we gave CJ Worx a few of our key benefits, being one, our batteries being 30 to 40% thicker in plates, which means that it's more robust.
Not good for your teeth, as we see in the ad.
Yeah, that's right. So that's how they communicate it. So it's more robust and then can withstand vibration and corrosion from acid. So number two, that we use Swedish technology, which has been adapted for the Thai market and actually many markets in the world as we sell our batteries in many parts of the world. And then it comes into the story that our batteries also got rated number one and with the 5-star ratings in Finland by TM Magazine, which rated many consumer products. And on their own, we were not involved in that at all. And number three, that Boliden offer higher power intensity in starting empowering electrical appliances in the car. And it's also got faster charging acceptance. That means it's charging faster.
Yes. So it's for the agency, it's a fascinating brief because it's clearly a very, very good product and very, very good brand on the basis of all of those benefits that you've listed. But it's also a very challenging brief because it's a very low involvement category.
Exactly.
Car batteries. So it's not something we think about every day. Let's face it. So it's quite a big challenge for the agency to try and think both strategically and creatively about the brief. So then if I swing to the agency team and Kunchai and Kunbol, when you received the brief from the client, what was the agency's initial thinking and kind of initial sort of discussion around the brief?
Yeah, I think the brief is very challenging because of, if we want to buy car battery, we cannot run it out and buy today because we don't need it today, but we may need it in the future. One car battery, its lifetime, it may be 2 or 3 years. It depends on how we drive a car, right? But if we advertise today and we just hope that people, will buy this product in the next 3 years, it's very long time, right? What we have to do is we have to crack the code, how can we solve this problem? So I think the one thing that we have to do is make people to remember once they need the car battery, remember our name, remember Boliden, and search for it, because of when the car battery die, along the street, along the road. Most of the time you not, go back home and change it. You cannot. You have to find the new battery during, the day once, the car stop working, right? So the trick is how to, make the people to remember and search for the Boliden. That is the first start that we want to achieve. That is big. Yes.
And so that's fantastic. So that thinking strategically from the client brief makes real sense to me. So then how did you jump to the zombies idea?
Yes. When we think about, when we found the situation, think about ourselves. If our car battery die, on the street, what's going to happen, But how can we create the fear, of if we lose something, if we on the uncertain situation, maybe, the environment, don't suit up. Maybe we are in the middle of nowhere, and what's going to happen to us, that's the key trigger. So what we have to achieve is just create fun story, We can create a very scary story too, but I think the funny thing, the humor might suit for this commercial. So we turn, the scary thing into the humor story and make people to remember. So we have, I think we present, 6 seconds at first, 6 second TV commercial, video commercial. It's like a bumper ad. Bumper ad for the YouTube. And we propose, I think 7 short story to be 7 bumper, right? For 6 seconds only. So we have the first one, we just, the first one is all about, the car running on the street and stop working in the middle of nowhere. Look surrounding, no one else, just us. But suddenly, something happened, the scary thing happened. We found the zombie, just coming out in the middle of nowhere and face to us. The girl who drive the car, don't know how to do, just to look at herself, and looks around it, and very scared. And and the commercial, asks that, what we have to do, and the story start that you have to search something. Why don't you search Boliden? That is the first start. Mm-hmm. And we don't have just only the zombie. We have ninja, on the middle of the street. We have mafia. Maybe we drive into the mafia zone, and you don't know how to work with it. Mm-hmm. We have like maybe alien coming out. Maybe you drive onto the street with drug seller. That is right. Yeah. Maybe sometime at night you might find some ghost, just popping up on the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And maybe you found, you face with the dinosaur, just popping out, and maybe you face the Grim the Reaper, Satan, just popping out. And that's that kind of thing that we want to create the fun story all about, the situation that uncertain, that you have to search something. Car battery. That's all. Yeah, we're trying to.
And so you had a whole range of different ideas that were based around this kind of very insightful situation that a consumer might be in, where suddenly their battery stops working. Yeah, right. And they need a new battery and they need to search for one. And obviously, from a top of mind perspective, we want that to be the Boliden brand. How did you hone in on the zombies approach?
Yes. Once we proposed the idea of 6 seconds to client, and we discussed around this, but if 6 seconds also work with our consumer, if consumer asks that, what about the quality? Is that trustable? What any other thing else that 6 seconds cannot deliver? Can we expand, to be more detailed, more benefit, and emphasize more on quality? So we coming up that, why don't we, just don't do 7 story, just we just combine it and make it, longer. And so we can coming up with, a funnier story, more detail, and we can explain more about the benefit of the product. That's what we do. Yeah.
I understand. And so then, Kundus, if I can ask from a client perspective, you very shrewdly said at the beginning that one of the things that you, as a client, you were looking for was something that might go viral. So, I think every marketer would like their work to go viral. It's not something easy to make happen. So when the agency is coming to you with all these wild ideas, what are you thinking at your end? What are you thinking about zombies and approaches like this?
I think one of the problems that we emphasize is that we are a low involvement product. So the problem is how do you make it high involvement? So I think having a zombie or something in a situation where you need your car starting at the time. So I think that answered to one of the problems, and also the jingle search bulletin. So that's another problem that we present to them, that we want our brand recognized.
Yes. And so was there much discussion around the zombies concept, or was it, sort of bought into straight away?
The way it was presented, we kind of bought it right away, because it also presented with the sense of humor that we know that would engage the audience as well. So the fact that we also told them that we're going to market this on the internet, so that means that we need to grab the attention right away and throughout for people to keep watching the ads. So.
Fair enough. And then internally within your organization, was everyone on the same page? Was everyone as excited about it, or were there any members of the team who maybe thought it was a little bit risky or different or not quite right?
Oh, I think we all like it because it's different.
You sound like a fantastic client team.
we looking for something different and I think I love this commercial, and it just unique in a sense that that, from how do you convert an everyday product that you never thought about? Okay, people only think about battery when the battery dies, right? So
yes.
what if it dies in a dire situation where you need it to start?
Yeah, no, it's a very true to life situation portrayed in a very, very distinctive and different way, which I think is one of the reasons that it's so powerful. But it's not always easy for marketers to be, as I would say, as brave as you and your marketing team have been in this situation. So I don't know if you want to respond to that, because we talk about bravery in marketing a lot, and it's a bit of a thing that everyone talks about, but it's not something that often you see. But it sounds to me like you just felt that the approach and the marketing objectives were really going to be met with this sort of creative approach.
Yes. At the time, we did.
Yeah.
But they came up with many approaches at the beginning, so we boiled down to one.
Yes, it sounds like with the other ideas, you've got a series of campaigns over the next few years. You've created a reputation.
One because,
So that's wonderful. So there was alignment on this idea, which was very different and very distinctive for Boliden, and actually to Kunchai and Kunbol from CJ Worx. You've mentioned a few things. It's quite interesting through the commercial where you've managed to insert the product benefits, and you've done it in a way that's intriguing and interesting. And you've even captured the importance of consumers searching for Boliden at the end of the commercial. So that's very memorable, both visually and in the audio jingle that you use. So it's a very, very effective way of doing it. So tell me now about the process of producing the work, because when you look at the film, it's a beautifully produced piece of work. It really is. It's almost like a mini movie, I guess, if you like. So what was the process like of producing the work?
Yeah, I think the process is similar to other, but luckily we have like a mom film, Kun Suthon Petsuwan, who helping us on this piece of project, and a lot of detail in the work in the commercial is like creating live on the shot. Some of the shot don't appear in the shooting board. Yes, it's like implement in the real time. So it's good to do that, because of sometimes when we found out on the location, we found out that it might be better if we add that, if we more in the more detail. Say for example, the doctor that standing up, they hold their hand with the building on the back. That appears on the shot. Actually,
it's a fantastic shot.
Oftentimes you have a storyboard, and the ad came out like worse than the storyboard, but this one ended up being better actually.
Yeah. And so when the shooting was happening, because I don't know, Kundus, was there a client team at the shoot as well?
Yeah, we were there as well. So
you could have those discussions in real time around maybe we should try this, maybe we could add this.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic way of working, because you're kind of building on things together.
Yeah, it's like teamwork, and we were there, production team was there, and CJ Worx were there, so we always like talking.
And how long did the shoot take?
Just one day.
1 day.
That's 1 day. Yeah.
One very long day, I think.
One very long day.
Very long day. Very long day.
It's a very rainy day.
It's rainy day too.
It's rainy day. Fortunately for us that we can complete all of the shot before the raining.
Right, I get you.
Also on the shooting day, creative team, client, and the director come up with many fresh ideas, just like you can see on the first of the film, just like a doll, just like a doll in in the front of the
Dashboard.
Yes.
It came from the director.
Okay,
It
cool.
came from his car.
Yes.
Yeah. So as Pichai and Kundu say that there were many fresh ideas in the production period.
And also, if I sorry to interrupt, wonderful talent, like really, really well cast talent. Your lead, your Frankenstein, the professor or the doctor, as you call him, even your lead zombies. They were all really wonderful talent, acting well, because their performance is so strong that it really adds to the commercial.
Yeah, because the director Kunmam spent many time for select the good talent, and we have many rounds for the discussion about the talent. We have the wrong period about the pre-production to make sure that this film is going to be fantastic.
And Kunduz, if I can ask, just to finish on that little section, did you ever feel at any time where you were taking a risk?
Not really.
No, fair enough. I think the humor.
It was okay, or I should say, it's a calculated risk. I mean, there's a risk that, but people in Thailand like humor and they like something different, and we have a lot of zombie movies, so it's a trendy kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, fair enough. It has an audience all of its own, I guess, from that perspective.
Yes.
And so fantastic. That's wonderful hearing about the journey. What about it, when the campaign has now run? It's always a bit of a cliched question to ask, but have there been any learnings in the journey of this campaign? Have there been anything that you've learned kind of working together?
We learned that Facebook and Google don't like zombies.
So what's the story there?
So they kept kicking us out that there's like violence and unsuitable content.
You're kidding? That's amazing.
Yeah, even some there's a guy in Google who's helping us, the marketing guy in Google, and then so we kept getting kicked out and then apply in again. So
you have to keep rebooking your media.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's quite challenging, and that's because the AI at Facebook and YouTube decides that it's violent content and therefore kicks it out.
Yeah, I think they look at if the shirt is ripped off or there's some content with blood in it or things like that. Even though it's very funny piece.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Just the AI doesn't get humor by the sound of things.
No, I guess
particularly Thai humor in this case. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Any other learnings from working together? Maybe from the agency. Or Kundu?
And like also adding our brand from the beginning works better. Seems to work better.
Yes, I understand. Yes, that's something that we're hearing more and more, particularly with longer form content on.
Because it's a longer story.
Yeah.
The 6 seconds are okay, but the longer one, we require that we put our brand name throughout at the beginning.
Yes, I understand. Well, what about from CJ Worx?
Yeah, one thing that we know is like if we keep have like happiness on our work, everything gonna work it out. Even though during pandemic, everything was like reduce the cost, all the shooting, and everything, seem to be like very safe, very careful when we use all the money or the budget. So it's turning out is better than what we thought, and we can have a good piece of work, at the end. So I think it's everywhere. If everyone happy about this, yeah.
And also we think that the great work always come from the brave client, the brave and the great client.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Yes, it's something.
And also, if I can add, we've got a lot of good feedbacks from the commercial. So we even got many stores contacting us, just like, can I sell Boliden?
Wow, that's fantastic.
They like the ad. Yeah.
So it's working in the sales channel as well as in the consumer channel.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Great. I mean, it's agencies, always say they want to work with brave clients, and it's always something to hope for, but it's never, from a marketer's perspective, it's never an easy position to be in. But it sounds like you took a very purist approach to what you were trying to do, and kind of, in essence, thought about it logically, that it made sense in this case to be brave and, as you said, take a calculated risk. Great. Okay, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of the discussion. Really, really appreciate your time. It's been a fantastic discussion, some really, really great insights, and some wonderful stories along the way for what is a wonderful campaign. So many congratulations to both of you, and no pressure on you, but we look forward to seeing much more great work in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.